In India, archaeologists just uncovered over 110 ancient megaliths near a massive dam, while in China, 2,000-year-old wooden houses still stand, with bamboo walls and thatched roofs intact. From a Roman gladiator's final resting place in Italy to a vast irrigation system buried in the Mesopotamian desert, March of 2025 brought one groundbreaking discovery after another. Ancient tombs, lost settlements, and mysterious temples are rewriting what we thought we knew about early civilizations. So, which one of these shocking finds in March of 2025 could change human history the most? You've heard of chambers and tunnels under the pyramids, but this? It's on a whole new level. In March of 2025, a team of researchers from Italy and Scotland dropped a bombshell. They say there's a vast underground city sitting beneath a Khafre pyramid at Giza. Not tunnels, not secret tombs, an entire city, 4,000 feet deep and possibly 38,000 years old. That's tens of thousands of years older than the pyramids above it. Using advanced satellite radar and Doppler tomography, the team scanned under the pyramid and found 8 deep shafts, each about 33 to 39 feet wide, plunging over 2,100 feet down. At the bottom, huge square chambers, 260 feet wide, with more shafts descending from them. That's not all. A spiral of staircase-like structures wrap around each shaft, and there's even a water system down there. Egyptian authorities aren't buying it. They say the data's flawed, the method's unproven. But the researchers point to the ancient texts, the Book of the Dead and the Royal Canon, which talk about god kings and pre-dynastic cities wiped out by a cataclysm, a lost civilization, or just a wild theory. Either way, the Giza Plateau might be hiding more than history books ever imagined. Most maps of ancient civilization skip right over North Africa. Not anymore. Near Tetuan in northern Morocco, archaeologists from the University of Barcelona have uncovered the first Bronze Age settlement in Maghreb. Kashkush is the name, and this site changes everything. The team found evidence of continuous life there from 2200 to 600 BC. That's before the Phoenicians ever set foot on the coast. For centuries, people lived, farmed, and built houses with mud bricks and stone. They dug rock-cut silos. They used grinding stones, they raised sheep and cattle, and grew wheat and barley. In the later phases, they even started using iron tools and imported pottery styles from the eastern Mediterranean. This wasn't some forgotten outpost, it was a thriving settlement deeply connected to ancient trade networks. So, while most people thought the Maghreb was empty land, until outsiders arrived, Kashkush proved something different. North African communities were already building, trading, and evolving, long before they were noticed by the rest of the world. Everyone knows about Stonehenge, but not many people talk about flagstones in Dorset. That's about to change. New carbon dating has revealed that this little-known site is actually 200 years older than Stonehenge. Built around 3200 BC, Flagstones is now Britain's oldest known circular enclosure, and that could flip everything we thought we knew about the origins of monument building in the UK. Archaeologists discovered a 100-meter wide circle ditch with cremated and non-cremated burials inside. But here's the twist. The site may have been used for nearly 1,000 years. A sarsen stone covers a later burial in the center, placed long after the original circle was dug. Researchers now wonder, did flagstones inspire Stonehenge, or do we need to rethink when and how UK's biggest ancient structures were built? This might be a small site by comparison, but it's punching way above its weight. In Chiliomodi, Greece, archaeologists uncovered something big, a monumental burial chamber that's not just a tomb, but a time capsule of rituals and belief. It's a 24 by 9 foot T-shaped structure with 2 chambers, 6 tombs, and a monolithic sarcophagus holding both human and animal remains. Pottery, gold coins, bronze items, perfume bottles, and even a ring engraved with the god Apollo and a healing serpent were all found inside. Researchers now believe this was more than just a burial site. It was connected to a healing cult, used for rituals and offerings for centuries. Some tombs were opened in Roman times, suggesting the place was reused, possibly even looted, but still held in reverence. And all this lies just outside the city of Tenia, a city once thought to be pure legend, founded by Trojan prisoners. But with every dig, that legend is starting to look more like fact. You won't see it from the shore, but dive off the coast of Tolo, Greece, and you'll find the ruins of an ancient port lying beneath the waves. Archaeologists working with Swedish and Greek teams spent 5 days in October of 2024 mapping and documenting submerged structures near Assini. What they found? Foundations of buildings, scattered amphora fragments, and an artificial platform that once supported port infrastructure. It's tough to date exactly, but the ceramic evidence points to a site that was active during multiple ancient periods. These weren't just dockside ruins. The remains suggest rooms, walls, and possibly even storage facilities, meaning the port could have supported everything from trade to military operations. What makes it even cooler? It's only one part of a much larger effort to understand how the Mediterranean's ancient coastlines have shifted, and what secrets lie just under the sea. Tucked away in Farleywood, Derbyshire, a single standing stone was all anyone thought was there. But in March 2025, archaeologists uncovered a massive surprise: a full Bronze Age stone circle. The stone, over 2 meters tall, is now known to be part of a 25 by 23 meter oval, with 5 other standing stones, and underneath, a carefully built ceremonial platform perched above a natural spring. Carbon dating pegs it to 1700 BC. That's over 3,700 years ago. Experts believe the circle was used for rituals tied to water, possibly to mark seasonal changes or community gatherings. It's now one of the 25 known stone circles in the Peak District, and potentially part of a much bigger ceremonial landscape still waiting to be mapped. The best part? It was hiding in plain sight, shielded for decades by the surrounding forest. And now that it's uncovered, archaeologists plan to keep digging. You ever wonder what daily life looked like along ancient highways? Archaeologists just uncovered a Roman settlement in Bulgaria, right next to the Via Militaris, the massive road that stretched nearly 924 kilometers across the Balkans. This spot, in the village of Boromechkovo, is packed with artifacts from over 1,500 years ago. What did they find? Stone buildings, mud mortar walls, pottery, and coins from 5 different emperors. One building, nearly 9 meters long, was torched, possibly during the violent Gothic raids of the mid-3rd century AD. And it's not just a random ruin. This place stored food and buried pithoi, had signs of metallurgy, and even had silver jewelry. The coins tell a clear story. The latest one dates to 249 AD, hinting that this peaceful farming hub was suddenly abandoned. It's a sharp reminder, even remote villages weren't safe from barbarian invasions. Now, let's head to India. Next to the Malampuzha Dam in Kerala, archaeologists have found over 110 megaliths, spread across 45 hectares. That's one of the biggest burial clusters ever found in the region. We're talking cists, urns, dolmens, and massive stone circles, some made of granite, other with laterite stones. These were burial chambers built without mortar, straight from the Neolithic and Bronze Age playbook. Why does this matter? Because this site could completely reshape what we know about Kerala's Iron Age communities. It shows their burial beliefs, their access to massive stones, and their skill in shaping a sacred landscape. And that wasn't the only site explored this month in India. Roughly 100 kilometers from Bhubaneswar at Ratnagiri, a wave of excavation uncovered something big. Giant Buddha heads, ornate shrines, and hundreds of votive stupas. Most of these date back to early medieval times, tied to Vajrayana Buddhism. The structures feature brick stupas with crisscross designs, rectangular chaitya complexes, and detailed sculptures of deities like Tara and Manjusri. Sanskrit inscriptions cover both the ceilings and the statues, giving us insights into rituals and monastic life. What's even cooler? These finds show how Buddhism transitioned and spread, likely reaching Southeast Asia from this very spot. So yeah, it's not just a dig site, it's a global puzzle piece. Let's jump from India's spiritual core to gladiators in Italy. In southern Italy, archaeologists exploring the ancient Roman colony of Liternum just made a chilling discovery: a gladiator's tomb. Yes, a real one, with an inscription carved into marble. But that's just the beginning. They also found a quadrangular mausoleum, nearly 3 meters across, built from gray tuff and lined with niches for urns. Around 20 burials surrounded it, with different Roman styles, inhumations in tiled tombs, burials in clay vessels, and brick-lined graves. The site spans from the late 1st century BCE to the 3rd century CE. The coin finds, oil lamps, and pottery reveal shifts in funerary customs. But it's the gladiator's epitaph that steals the spotlight. After a life of blood and battle, he found peace in this quiet colony, and now we get to read his name 2,000 years later. Now, let's take a quick detour back to Egypt. In the Sohag Governorate, a royal tomb was found in Abydos, buried 7 meters underground. This isn't from a famous pharaoh or well-known dynasty. Nope. It's from a little-known chapter of Egypt's history, the Abydos dynasty, between 1700 and 1600 BCE. Inside the tomb, limestone burial chambers, vaulted mud brick roofs, and inscriptions showing goddesses like Isis and Nephthys. Researchers believe this might be the tomb of a king who ruled before Senebke, discovered in 2014. That's not all. In a nearby village, a huge Roman pottery workshop was also found. It had kilns, storage rooms, and 32 ostraka in Greek and Demotic, basically ancient receipts. These discoveries help us track Egypt's transformation from royal tombs to trade centers. In Shaoxing, East China, archaeologists unearthed 2 massive wooden house foundations. We're talking 1,300 square meters of terraced, stilted homes built around 400 BCE during the early Warring States period. The beams, bamboo, thatch, and bark structures are still in place. The walls have tiny holes where grass ropes once held everything together. It's like walking into a time capsule from 2,390 years ago. These weren't just fancy homes, just simple dwellings in the outskirts of the ancient Yue capital. But they give us a real glimpse into what everyday life looked like for people who lived by the sea, raised livestock, and fished daily. And yeah, they found 400 kilos of artifacts, from red pottery tripods to bronze tools and animal bones. The site even has a Tang Dynasty tomb and fishing relics from a time when this coast was full of life. Still with me? Because the last stop is wild. Near Eridu in southern Iraq, archaeologists just uncovered a sprawling irrigation network older than the first millennium BCE. And it's shockingly advanced. Over 200 large canals, more than 4,000 small branches, and more than 700 farm plots, all designed to use gravity and natural river breaks to flood fields with water from the Euphrates. These canals were so well built, some of them still exist today. Researchers use satellites, drones, and geological maps to uncover the system, preserved perfectly because the Euphrates shifted away centuries ago, leaving the area untouched. This shows how early farmers, centuries before cuneiform writing, already understood water management better than many thought possible. And it's proof that Mesopotamian innovation wasn't just in writing or law, it flowed through the soil. So, what surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments. And if you want to keep uncovering the past with us, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. There's a lot more coming.